What's going on, guys? So I know this video is hella late, but I still wanted to talk about the DC animated film The Killing Joke. If you guys don't know anything about The Killing Joke, it was a Batman one-off story that told the origin of the Joker, and it was so good that DC decided to make it continuity, and if you could do that as a writer, you are a fucking badass, which Alan Moore is. The reason why I think this story was so great because it was equally controversial as it was well written. In this story, we had the end of an era for a superhero, which was Batgirl. Of course, since then she has come back, but she was out of the comics as Batgirl for a really long time. We had the very controversial possible sexual assault of the Joker on Barbara Gordon, and the comic ended with the speculation of Batman breaking his one rule and killing the Joker. In my opinion, anytime you leave your audience or viewers or readers wanting more, you have made a successful story, and that is exactly what The Killing Joke did. So with all of that, you would think that the DC animated film of The Killing Joke with a R rating would be just as awesome, right? Not necessarily, because the one thing about The Killing Joke is although it is a great story, it is really kind of short and not long enough to make a movie out of. With The Killing Joke not being long enough for a DC animated film, the studios decided to add to the story with the Batgirl storyline that had nothing to do with The Killing Joke whatsoever. And that is where I think this film fails, because I'm gonna say it, like, the Killing Joke part of the movie is awesome. Like, it's almost shot for shot with the comic most of the times. The same dialogue, the same jokes, everything is almost shot for shot on the Killing Joke part of this movie, but that filler that they added of Barbara Gordon was pointless and had nothing to do with the rest of the story, and I was just hella bothered by that. Okay, if you haven't watched the movie yet, spoilers are about to happen, so you've been warned. The biggest thing that happens in this Barbara Gordon filler is that she fucks Batman, and you're just like, what? Because that's like a teacher-student kind of thing going on, which is totally fine if you're of age, okay? Don't be, if you're in high school or middle school, don't be fucking your teachers, because that's wrong, and your teachers should know better. They're just playing with your mind and shit. But, like I said, in these comics, I believe they are both of age, so that's totally fine, and I have no problem with Batman getting some. But I felt the whole sexual tension, sexual relationship was not necessary for this story at all. I'm thinking the director or writer wanted you to feel for Batman and Barbara because, like, oh, they had sex and they have a thing, and then when freaking Joker destroys her, Batman's gonna be all mad, and that's what's gonna freaking fill his rage. That did not totally come through in this movie. You see, Batman has lost pupils before in Damian, in freaking Jason Todd, and it's always been from like a father-son perspective, but why did you have to go with the whole sexual relationship with the only female counterpart that Batman has in Barbara Gordon? I should say pupil, not counterpart, but they probably are counterparts because she's still badass. You still could have done the whole father figure thing, like if she was paralyzed or whatever, Batman could have still had that emotion as a freaking father would, of seeing their daughter destroyed at the hands of another person, and that could have been the anger that carried over to the freaking rest of the story. Again, Barbara doing the horizontal polka with Batman is not my problem, because I was like, yeah. My problem with this storyline was they made Barbara seem like a lovesick puppy, and she's always been a stronger character than that in my eyes. Seriously, they just made her seem like a girl that was lust over a guy this whole time. Like, she was literally talking to her gay friend about this guy she likes that doesn't like her, and just things are going on, blah, blah, blah. And it was just that for the most of the thing, and it just, the freaking villain that she was fighting made no fucking sense. Like, it had no, there was just nothing in this filler that carried over to the Killing Joke storyline, and if you're going to add something to a story, you need to tie it in with the rest of the story! My biggest thing was I don't like that they made Barbara Gordon seem weaker than Batman. Like, I feel like she's always been on par. Yes, he's always a step ahead of his pupils, but intellectually, she's always been on par with Batman in the comics in my eyes, and that is the reason why he's never, like, had to watch over her as bad as he does the boys, because the boys have the whole anger thing and they'll be like, fuck you, bitch! But Barbara's always had a better head on her shoulders until the recent stuff, if you've read the recent stuff. Anyways, Batman's always had like a higher standard for Barbara because she's always just been like his best pupil, and the guys, Grayson and all them, always say that in the comics too. So to see her be the lovesick puppy that just wants the D from the B kind of bothered me a lot. I was just there, I was like, can we start the Killing Joke already, please? Because I saw it in theaters. But I was just like, come on, man, like, what does this have to do with the Killing Joke? Is the Joker character gonna pop up at some point? What is going to happen? I think the filler would have been better if it would have been from Oracle's perspective, so it would have been post Killing Joke happening, but it would have been awesome to see her do like flashbacks and talk about how her life was before the Killing Joke and after the Killing Joke. So there would have been filler before and after the storyline, and it could have just, I think it would have meshed a lot better than this random sexual storyline that they did for the Killing Joke. And that's pretty much it. I just didn't really like the filler. I didn't feel like it fit with the story. But if you were to cut out that filler and just do the Killing Joke part for the animated movie, it would be hella short, but it would have been fucking awesome because like I said, this thing is almost shot for shot, guys. Like, it is pretty badass. Like, some of the panels are just like ripped from this book and put onto the screen, and anytime you can see that as a comic book fan, you fucking get a little ghibli in your pants. What the fuck is a little ghibli? Now, I will say that I think they changed the ending a little bit because Joker tells this joke and then Batman actually starts to laugh. And in the comic book, he grabs Joker at the end and the laughter stops after a couple of panels, and people think that is when Batman breaks his neck. There have been some interpretations. Other people say, no, that doesn't happen, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, if it's continuity now, you know that doesn't happen, but when this comic was actually made, some people thought that Batman actually killed the Joker. Hence why it is called The Killing Joke. If I remember correctly, I don't think that they have him grabbing Joker at the end of this movie. I think it just kind of ends with both of them laughing. Okay, that might have been the biggest change that I can remember. I don't know, I saw this movie like 2 weeks ago, but I liked it. I mean, I liked the Killing Joke parts is what I should say. I hated the filler part because it had nothing to do with the Killing Joke. So yeah, I don't know. It kind of sucked. I wish it would have been better. But that is my review of the Killing Joke movie. It's even hard to put a number on this because, like I said, without the filler part, this thing was fucking awesome. So I'll give it like a 7.5 out of 10 juice boxes. I don't know. Just watch it for yourself. Let me know what you think in the comment sections down below. Guys and gals, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with all your buddies. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy and geeky on this channel. As always, guys, I am your host, JUICEbox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. Have I had my daily dose of juice? See you guys next time. Bye!